when do you all decide to file technical petitions? When do you file formal revocation petitions?
Okay, each case that we look at is on a case-by-case basis. We have two tracks in Sacramento County. We have a treatment track. We have another track where they don't necessarily go to the day reporting centers, one of the day reporting centers, but they go to a field unit. If they go to a field unit, they're not being assessed and they're not being provided services within the probation department. They can certainly be referred out to other services in the community, but they're not receiving day reporting center services. If it's a day reporting center case, what we're going to look at is, obviously, was there a term and condition of release that was violated? And we have a sanctions grid and a list of intermediate sanctions that we have. And if we've exhausted all intermediate sanctions at that point, we've tried everything, then we'll take a look at what we can do for filing a revocation petition. Or if they're deemed to not be appropriate based on certain public safety concerns, we'll go ahead and file a petition. But in our day reporting centers, what we'll do is we'll take it back to our multidisciplinary team of professionals that are the service provider, it's the senior mental health counselor that we have on site, we have a nurse involved, and we have the probation officer and case managers' involvement. Everybody sits down and talks about what the technical violations are, and is there some way we can deal with the specific issues without filing a revocation petition. Intermediate sanctions include up to placing somebody in a treatment program. It could be a flash incarceration. It could be community service. It could be work projects. So we'll, at that point, determine the appropriate level of sanction.
Mike, is it fair to say with the statistics, your folks are fans of flash incarceration? I see 3,193 times.
Yeah, we use flash incarcerations a lot in lieu of filing revocation petitions. As you can tell by the numbers, the very high-risk population gets the most flash incarcerations, on average 3 times per very high-risk offender. There are some people who definitely need to be locked up and put in on a revocation petition, but we're going to make every attempt to try to work with the offender to get them under supervision and the treatment services that they need. And I will say this, that the biggest reason for filing the revocation petition in our county is for abscons, bar none. So the bottom line is we want to get them back under supervision as soon as possible, and sometimes that requires that we file a revocation petition or use intermediate sanctions.
And I'll note for you that it was in my home court where all this PRCS mechanism was assigned Department 63, which now Judge John Wynn has. Thank you, John. And we thought, oh my God, we're going to have so many hearings. It's just going to be, how are we going to absorb all of this, all right? And so we have 314 formal petitions filed. And there's resolutions. 222 took the early resolution offers that Chris Carlson described earlier, where we were none the wiser. We never saw anything until the form was submitted electronically, and we only keep an electronic court file on these. And so I never saw those cases in my court at all. So now we're down to the 92. It's at that point that the Office of the Public Defender, in this context, is appointed. Mr. Lewis.